Hello everybody and welcome to LMM, and it's now time for another episode of Lawrie Goes a Little Loco. And if you check on the screen now, coming up somewhere around here, that's the links to all our social media, including our Discord server where you can chat to me, the rest of the team and other like-minded people about wonderful things such as Dublo and everything else that we cover on the channel. Now today's video is that long awaited one where we're going to go and test this lot and see if it actually works. And when I say this lot, I don't mean the little Trix, I think it's an 01 Trix tank engine, because, well, this is 2-rail, and as it's 2-rail, well, it won't run on 3-rail, obviously, so that's excluded. And there's not much of a surprise with this one because I fixed that last time, so we know that works. I mean, it's entirely possible that it will spontaneously decide it doesn't want to run anymore, but that's beside the point. So we do have the Trix 3-rail TAF Tank 5600, we've got the Repainted N2 here, and of course the Duchess here. So without too much of further ado, let's find out if they work. And for this, we're going to be using an older controller. So you guys will remember this thing from the last video, this monster, which every time I plug it in, I watch the lights in the house get dimmer, and if it's on at night, I watch the street lights outside get dimmer, so it hums with power. And we're going to plug it in to this, which is a genuine Hornby Dublo controller, which has this absolutely gorgeous mechanism here for forward and backwards, and I just think that's rather nice. So we're going to bodge it all together by plugging this one into that to give it 12 volts in, which should go to a battery, but we're just going to go 12 volts in and plug that into the track and see what happens. So first stage, we're going to set up a simple oval like we did before for this. We're going to plug this in with that charging it and see if we can get any life out of it. So with that, let's get a little bit of track built. Hornby Dublo was announced in 1938, the first system to run on 12 volts DC, which went on to become the standard power source for model railways, and it's the system that we still use today, meaning that a Dublo controller should work with my modern locomotives. Now, the size came about due to the size of the motor that Hornby wanted to squeeze into their little models. So they chose to make their models at 4mm to the foot, rather than the 3.5mm to the foot like true HO. Lots of people accredit Hornby for creating Dublo gauge, but it had actually already been done by Trix almost a decade earlier in 1922. The idea of Dublo proved popular, but with the war looming, production and development stopped, and it wasn't until 1948 that new products began to appear. And remember, when models like this first came out, these were current engines. It wasn't modelling yesterday's railways and seeing how things used to be. This was modelling the real network as it was. So this has become a tiny bit more complex than I intended when I started building it. But as I was pulling the track together, it made sense to put in some points and see how Dublo runs over points. And here's the fleet of locomotives. I've got some stock out and a oval with some points. So what we're going to do is I'm going to plug in this thing and then plug it at full power, feeding this, and then this feeding that. So this is basically going to be a variable resistor in line with that. So we'll go about that. I've got a black and a white crock clip attached to the output on this controller, and I'm just going to feed this into the connection on there. So that's 1, and that one here will be 2. So now the power of this will feed into that. And now taking these two, I'm going to attach yellow to that, green to that, feed them round the transformer so they don't get caught up. Green goes on there, and yellow onto there. So, and now just tuck them out of the way, like so. So theoretically now this should work. We're going to start off with this one, because this is the engine we all know works, having had it running not too long ago. In fact, we'll have it go around that way because that feels nicer. So theoretically this works. So we're going to turn the power all the way up on that controller, like so, and now slowly bring this into the forwards direction. Nothing happens. Try. Oh! Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? So it does work on this lovely little controller. Now, the only thing is, if I put it into stop, I'll change the direction on that because now I can use forwards. There we go. Oh, this is fantastic to actually be using a Hornby Dublo controller on Hornby Dublo. And I really enjoy this little controller. So let's go in. Let's see if the points work here. We'll throw the point there and reach over and throw the point there. And the answer is no, it doesn't enjoy it because it fell off. Try that again. Oh, pop there. Let's see. We slowly go over that. Yep, we did it that time. Just taking care with points, it seems to be an issue there. Oh, well, that is fantastic. There's a bit of a drop in the line there, but never mind. This feels so much more controllable on this controller. I don't know if it's just me kind of getting a bit sentimental over the whole thing or anything else, but it just feels so nice. Whoops, I knocked over the signal. Signal's going to go there now. So we can give him the right way so everything's stopped. Well, I mean, the most appropriate thing to do now is to break out the suburban coaches. I'll just give it a train of just 2. Because that will look quite nice behind it. And I mean, it's the appropriate train for the locomotive. A couple of Suburbans. These couplings are strange because they don't want to go together, and I always thought they did. Right, there we go. So into forward, and away we go nice and slowly, and then pick up a bit of speed, and that is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. There is something just so wonderfully magical about having Dublo running and having it with a proper train. The tin plate details at the side, the shiny windows that aren't really there, it's got such a charm, and it's something you don't really get with today's model railways. It's lacking this kind of level of charm. I mean, certainly they're more detailed in some regards, but it just doesn't look quite this good. Now, let's bring this round. I'm going to stop it in the far siding over there and test a theory, because I'm not sure whether or not this will isolate on these points. So we change that one, we change that one. Will it go? It will. So you can't isolate a circuit like this on Dublo. That's fine. That's not a problem. We've learned. So forward we go. Oh, is that not fantastic? And again, this thing has never pulled these coaches because, well, it's never worked together. So what we're going to do now, take these off, put them there, and park you back on this nice piece of track I've made. And let's start having a look at some of the others. So, the Southern Repainted N2. Will this do anything? Oh. 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 That is full power, but it is limping itself. Oh, there we go, it's starting to speed up. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's superb, isn't it? Oh, look at that go. Now, whilst this is not the correct livery for this locomotive, I do rather like it. It's quite nice and bright. I like the green, I like the fact it's just, I like the livery on it. It's a bit different and possibly unique to be repainted like this. It does look rather smart. I mean, I am enjoying it. It's lovely watching it go back. I am rather noticing the lack of a load in the back though, compared to the other N2 that I own. So this one came in the set with these goods wagons, plus my newly made one. And this is a good time to compare the detail between the later body on the Dublo chassis and the original one with just drawn on artwork. So we're going to connect these up to it, like that. My one in the middle. I think the open wagon, I think that seems like a good idea. Draw it forward a little bit. And brake van and a tank wagon. Oh, this looks so wonderful. So this is plus one additional wagon, that one. This is the engine and it's set running for the first time together in my ownership. So yes, a little bit different to how it should be, obviously, because it's been painted and changed, but more or less how it should be. Oh, look at that. That is just so wonderful. A little Dublo goods train and inserter. Oh, this is what it was built to do. This is exactly what this set was built to do. Little engine, little goods train, trundle around, bringing joy. In fact, it's doing wonderfully because I hope it's bringing joy to you guys as well as it's bringing joy to me. I mean, when you consider these things were built in, well, the N2 started production in 1947, although that was probably later. Well, at least the body is. This one, I'm not sure if it was what livery it was in originally. I don't know if it was BR or if it's an early one that was in one of the grouping liveries. But when you consider the age of it and the fact that it's still quite happily running, it's just fantastic, isn't it? Well, isn't this just glorious? Like, it's so nice to have something like this back doing its original thing. And there's obviously one thing that we can do, which has never happened before. And that's a double header, because I assume the controller here will have enough oomph to do this. There we go. Well, that's special. Can't believe they'll do it together. Oh, that is so wonderfully cute, the two of them together. It's absolutely unreal. I love that there is the gap in the frames. So you can see, looking all the way through, you can see the rods working the other side of the frames. Oh, this is brilliant. Literally, this is something that's never happened before in my ownership. I've never had the two of these going, mainly because I have no idea where this one came from, but oh, that's so good. Oh, that's absolutely magnificently, wonderfully good. Oh my, you're so... Guys, you've got no idea just how much joy this is bringing me right now. This is absolutely magnificent. But I feel like I want to kind of expand upon the joy, so I think it's time to park these two up. And put them back on their little bit of track. Like so. I'm going to push these forward. Actually, no, we'll take them off, because I want to see how this runs. So we'll just put those over here, like so. And we're going to get out the one that isn't Dublo. The Trix 5600, and see what this does. Nothing, and the lights come on there, which means there's a fault. Oh! Or not. Oh wow, this runs at far less than the Dublo one does. I'm going to turn the power down a little bit on the main controller here. See if we can make it, there we go, make it a bit more controllable. Well, I'll be honest, it doesn't run particularly well. It's a bit jerky. In fact, it's very jerky. I wonder if that's something to do with... I wonder if we just turn it around and run it the other way. Oh, forward again. Oh, that's better. I wonder if it's just something to do with the contact that going that way around. I don't know. It seems to be much happier that way. That's got quite a little turn of speed as well. Oh, that's fantastic. It's really notable the amount of detail that's on this one compared to the amount of detail that's on the Dublo engines, or at least the N2s we've gone. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Isn't that stunning? That's beautifully stunning. Well, the obvious thing to do now is to try this with a train. So we'll put a couple of vans behind it. We'll just put 2 vans behind it. I think that's a nice looking little train, and the brake van. And away we go. Away we go-ish. That's pretty super, actually. Definitely running less well now it's got the train behind it, but... Ooh! There's a fair bit of sparks coming from the... I think it's just the... Don't know. Is that just touching on the... I don't know. I wonder if it would be happier if we asked it to go backwards. So it's... Try that. Doesn't like that. Doesn't like that at all. We get the light on for a short circuit. I'll figure this one out. The coupling here is metal and on the metal body, and so it picks up from here and here, so the whole body's live. So that means that this here is also live. These are metal on the outside rail, so it means that the current just comes in through the bottom skid, touches all this liveness, makes that live, and then short circuits across there. And for the back, well, I think that's meant to be plastic. Well, the wheels are certainly plastic. So I think what's happening is this is scraping on the back of the bodywork, which then makes it live. So it means it doesn't pull particularly well. I wonder if we put a coach in, will that make it better or worse? Give it a mixed train. See what happens. Oh, it likes that more. Or not. Nope, short it out again. So, I think what we found from this is Trix locomotives don't particularly enjoy... Trix locomotives don't particularly enjoy running with Dublo stock. Although it does... Yes, it's shorting again. I mean, it works, kind of, just about. So what we've got out of that is this does not enjoy Dublo stock. So we'll put these back. So it works, but I think I need to get some Trix wagons for it, or at least a Trix wagon to act as a barrier between this and these ones, because they're just metal underneath. See, metal wheels, metal frames. Even this one, the newer one I got, is still metal frames and metal wheels. So it means that that's all going to be negative. That's going to be negative. Locomotive positive, not so good. So let's go on to the thing that we all want to see, which is the Duchess of Montrose. Gently put it onto the track like so. Find its tender, just that, and gently open it up. Oh, we can turn the power all the way back up now. Oh! Well, that is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Wow, that goes. Turn that down a bit. I mean, the most incredible thing on this is watching the motion work. The motion is just so pretty. A bit more power. And the motion, again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's better than the motion on a modern locomotive because we've got all this extra stuff going on. Well, that is just fantastic, isn't it? Is that not glorious? Well, I mean, will it run through the point? Let's have a go. Through the point. Through the point. Whoops. That's fantastic. Well, that is fantastic. There's obviously only one thing to do in this stage, and that's to give it a train. So we'll give it a nice BR maroon coach. BR Gracely coach, that's what I've got to hand. And we'll give it a Suburban as a brake, because that's the most... don't have another brake coach. See how it takes that. Oh, that's so nice. These coaches have got a real nice noise to them as they go past. Just make, it's a model railway sound. That runs really well. Now, this one, I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he reminded me that the first station after Bridgnorth on the Severn Valley Railway, which they don't use anymore, so Erdington, I think, Erdington, they opened that up for their galas, and we went in, they had a stall selling various bits of model railways, and I've got a feeling that might be where these 3 Suburban coaches came from. But it is certainly where the front pony truck of the Duchess came from, because I'm really sure now that when this turned up, wherever it came from, it didn't have the front pony. And the front pony was sat there for sale at the Severn Valley Railway, and I went, I need that. And yeah, so bought it and in it went. Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? That's so beautiful. And the best thing is, when we consider the age of this, and the fact that it's still just doing exactly what it's meant to, this must now have made a couple of generations of people happy. Whoever had it initially, then maybe it changed hands again, and now it's here with me, and just bringing me and you guys so much joy in just doing what it was built to do. Hornby, well, Meccano, when they were making these things, that's fantastic. And there's just this charm, and I don't know if it comes across on video how exciting it is. And these points are wonderful as well, with the little motion on them. Changing the course of a locomotive, changing the points, has never been quite as exciting on Dublo. You get this kind of clatter as it goes over. It's wonderful. It's just absolutely wonderful. It feels very much more a hands-on railway. Oh, that is just so wonderful. Oh, as that comes around there, it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So now we've established that I'm a very lucky boy and all of the Dublo and tricks actually functions, I'm just going to play with my model railway for a bit. So thank you guys for watching. There will be a follow-up video where we look at some of the things you can do with Dublo that you can't do with modern stuff. And in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this, how about clicking over there for the first of the Dublo videos, or over there for the second one where we fix the N2. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.